I have been putting this off for weeks, but it's time to tidy up this mess and build some shelves. In today's episode, I am finally confronting the demon that is the death pile in my office. I am moving all of this stuff out and into the other shed. Not forever, but just long enough for me to build some shelves and get this damned room organized once and for all. All these boxes are the original Mills and Boons boxes that the lady had them delivered to her in. And they have pamphlets and stuff from the 80s and 90s in them. I sort of wonder whether someone might be interested in them in and of themselves, but don't know. If you don't know what I'm talking about some Mills and Boon novels that I bought a ways back from a lady at the post office and then couldn't be bothered listing. Conveniently, the step that I'm stepping down to is wet and, as it turns out, has wood rot and is crumbling beneath my feet, so hopefully I don't break my neck. I didn't break my neck on the broken slippery step, but I did get a little bit hot and bothered. Started making a pile of the Mills and Boons here. Over here we've got the books, which may or may not be shit pile. It was a bit of work schlepping all the books and toys and DVDs and furniture and everything like that from one shed to the other, but let's face it, I could use the exercise. Meanwhile, as I'm busy lugging books around that aren't selling, my darling wife has been selling shoes, namely these two here. Nice, on Depop. And in other news, my buddy, the Foul-Mouthed Flipper, has just been watching my last YouTube video, and he just contacted me to tell me that buying these World of Warcraft video games, computer games, PC games, is a bad idea because they suck to sell because people can't play them or hate them or they're just no good or whatever. So anyway, I'm feeling really great about dropping like $15 on those little suckers then, aren't I? But anyway, there it is, and maybe I'm procrastinating about the work, so I should get back to it. I'll just put them back over here with the other computer games that didn't sell. Wait a second, what is this promising looking box over here? The box of toys that suck and are worth nothing. Well, that box of toys may be worth nothing, but at least I got to enjoy schlepping it around for no real reason and wondering why I keep them and why I don't just get rid of them. And the reason why I don't just get rid of some of these boxes of shit is because I've got so much to do, and it's just another thing to do, isn't it? List it on Facebook and say, hey, can someone come and get this for free? I mean, I don't like listing things for money, let alone listing things for free, so I just keep not listing them, and they pile up and they just become a real pain in the butt. I'm a bit puffed now, but we're getting there. I think all of this stuff here behind me on the table can just stay there. The main thing that I'm trying to do right now is to make enough space down here so that we can build the first shelf. Me and my good wife Letty moved the stuff out of here, out of the corner, into the other shed, and the plan now is to build a shelf and then get some of that stuff that's out there on the shelves, and then we can get this blue toy chest thing under here out to the other shed, because we're going to sell that in a garage sale. Early on in the reselling game, I thought to myself, yeah, furniture, when I had a couple of quick, easy wins. But in truth, even though you might get a couple of $100 when you sell something, it's a mega storage problem because it takes about 4 items and then you're just like, my whole life is ruined, I can't move. Anyway, at this point, it is now time to crack myself a refreshing beer because, as you may be able to tell, I feel a little bit puffed up. It's kind of like hard work. So I'm going to have a beer and I'm going to pull the first of the Bunnings shelves into here, and then a whole new adventure is going to start where Mr. Technical here gets handy and shows all the kids how it's done. So here's what we've ended up with in the other shed, which is officially not allowed to have stock in it. So I'm only going to be able to do this very temporarily. I've got a bunch of those Mills and Boons over there. There's about 500 of them there. And then I've got a pile over here of books and toys, which are probably shit, but we're going to go through them and make sure that there aren't some gems in there that I've missed before they get gotten rid of. Then there's some furniture here, some nice mid-century stuff that I thought was going to be a winner that I may or may not have remembered to actually list, I'm not sure. And we've got a bunch of other random stuff here, sewing machines and boxes full of CDs and stuff like that, electronic items, overlocker, all of the stuff that I haven't listed. So the mission is to get this shelf here into the other room and build it and start putting some of these things on it. But it's not just about putting these things on a shelf. and then letting them sit there gathering dust. It's about making decisions about whether we're going to list them or not, and then once we list them, put them on the shelf, and then hopefully they sell. If we're not going to list them, let's get rid of them. Oh, these things again. Far out. Oh, this is the third and final time that I will be moving these bloody great big bastards around. Oh, God. All right. 5-tier adjustable shelf. Quick and easy assembly. Right? How hard can it be? I think I've earned one of these. Cheers. Alright, 5-tier adjustable shelf, blah 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 blah. Unpack the unit and confirm that you have all the parts inside. Assemble the unit on a solid level surface. Avoid carpet. No worries, no carpet here. You will need the assistance of a second person during assembly. Well, that's annoying. I just wanted to do this by myself. Mainly because nobody else wants to make a movie about building shelves around here. Please note, when moving shelving unit, lift the blah 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 blah. Tip over prevention kit. For added safety and support, we recommend you fix unit to a wall. Serious injury or death can be caused by toppling furniture. Alrighty. So it's now been hours since I first looked at this and did nothing about it, but the procrastination is over. I went inside, I ate some food, I ate some more food, talked to my wife, I did this, I did that, sent texts, I watched YouTubes, did all kinds of things, everything except build shelves, because I don't really want to do it, but someone's got to do it. There we are. We've broken the seal. My wife and I have agreed together that we should ignore all this stuff about fixing it to the wall, because the wall's nice and we don't want to ruin it with things sticking in it. So we're going to stick the heavy stuff at the bottom. What can possibly go wrong? And then it said you'll need 2 people during assembly, and my wife said I can do them by myself. Challenge accepted, because I need to get them done. So here we go. All this hard yakka stuff has never really been my jam. Why isn't there just a button? Push the button and it happens. Why isn't it just open? What's all this glue on there for? Good start. Ow! Ow! Ah. Why doesn't this bit down the end open? Stupid thing. Now, how are these? Oh, that's where I think this puppy needs to go on the ground. Ah! God, why is it so hard to open? Just come out. Let's get out of the box. God. Oh my God. Right. Box open. Righto, box expertly opened. I now turn my attention to the contents of the box and the instructions and how I'm going to make these shelves real. Bracket A times 10. I mean, which one's bracket A? Does it have A written on it? What does it look like? Oh, leg D. Oh, they're leg Ds. Leg Ds have a little hole in them. 8 of those. Leg D. Sounds like a rapper. 8 leg Ds. Yo, leg D. Bracket B or brace C? I can't tell. They just look like black lines on the paper. Brace C is in the same posse as Leggy D. You noisy bastards. Ugly, noisy bastards. All right. So now what? Push button, shelf, self-builds. Well, I might pause the video for now because I'm sure it's going to be extremely exciting watching me do this. But why am I down like this? Why don't we just do it up here? That's better, isn't it, hey? Get through my double chin. All right, anyway, I'll get to it and I'll check in again later. At this point, I figured there's only so long that a man like me can be squatting, so I went and got myself a stool, and then I sat on it and I started trying to figure out what the heck I was doing. Putting the little bits on the little ends of the things, trying to read the little tiny instruction manual, but that was ridiculous. I couldn't read that. So I kept using the manual on the back of the box, which was a good thing that they did that. What am I saying? Yeah, right. So anyway, I started putting the thing together, and this is when I realized it would be good to have someone else. So I texted my wife, but she told me to deal with it myself like a real man. And I said, but I'm not a real man. And she said, I know that, but anyway, deal with it, mate. So damn it, I kept on keeping on. But you see, I'd figured out by now that the reason they say that you need two people is because when you start building it, you kind of don't have any structure and the things just keep falling over and won't stick together. But I figured I'm a resourceful bloke, so I got the stool that I was supposed to be sitting on, and instead I used it to balance one leg, and I balanced the other leg against the MDF boards, and then it fell over up the other end, and that was annoying, but I persevered, and look, I'm starting to get there now. Hey, genius. This is what I've achieved so far, after losing my mind about 7 times. Despite my initial challenges, I was now feeling like quite the engineer slash tradie slash real man, and I cracked on and then some. After putting the MDF flooring on, the next part of the job was to put the second lot of side stick things on, which I didn't find that hard, although I did accidentally put them on upside down at first. But then you had to put on the side bits, and it was all coming together rather nicely and starting to look like actual shelves. Goodness me. My wife is going to be so proud of her big, tough man. Check it out. Am I a real man or what? I mean, I put this together with a level of skill that very few people can master, especially on their first go. But you know what? Some people are just born with it. What can I say? It actually, in all seriousness, wasn't that hard to put together. The first bit was a little fiddly. Luckily, I was doing a time lapse then, so you didn't hear me use words that your mama might not like. But eventually, I got past that phase, and the rest of it was pretty easy. I mean, I don't know. I might put a bunch of stuff on this, and it'll just collapse. That's a possibility. But it seems okay, you know. Pretty good. I'm happy. So I just chose pretty random spacings. You have to put this one here in the middle because it connects the two ones, holds them in place. But then, you know, this one and the bottom one and that one, they can go wherever you want, really. I decided to leave a large space at the bottom for big things like sewing machines and whatnot. And then this space here for, you know, I don't know, books. Then this one, I did something very random without really thinking about it. I guess I was thinking not to put anything too big and heavy up there because I'm not going to attach it to the wall. I'm going to hope for the best, and hopefully when I'm working over here on my computer, it doesn't all come tumbling down and crush me. Good morning. It's now Thursday morning, about maybe 9:30. I'm hard at it already, have been for some time. I've got the week off work, which is why I'm not doing my day job right now, and instead am mucking about with shelves and stuff. So this morning I started to move some stuff back in from the other shed just to show the good wife that I am serious about bringing it all back in, because the rule is I'm not allowed to leave stock in that one because it's like the game shed, the fun shed for the kids. So I've started to put some stuff in here already, heavy stuff on the bottom, some other stuff that was in the way. This is stuff that was in the blue toy chest, which has now been moved to the other shed. I did that all by myself. I'm doing lots of things by myself. I'm a new man. I've got a bit of a problem here, as you can see, in that I have all these cords, these wires here, because I got my bar fridge and my CD player, which are essentials, and I'm going to need to figure out where they're going to go. They may just go right there, in fact. Meanwhile, the Wi-Fi router thing here with the Ethernet cord plugs in over here, and that's about as far as the cord goes, which is annoying because the power point is over here. So of course I would like to plug it in here and just have it somewhere here. So I'm going to need to find myself a longer Ethernet cord. Exciting stuff, but these are the little problems you come across. In the meantime, you got to break a few eggs to make an omelette and all that, and in the meantime it's an absolute disgrace upon a disgrace. But we're getting there. So it's time to put the other shelf together. I feel like once I've got the shelf together, I'll be able to start really getting things organized, of course. I mean, that's the point of them. One of the challenges is this design feature, if you want to call it that, of this little shed room. And that poses a problem because that is shorter than the shelves. But thankfully, the shelves will well and truly fit in this space. Although there is a little bit of a contingency as to the location of this power point here and the legs of the shelves. But we shall see when we lock them in. Just a few little contingencies, but going along okay. And then once I've got this next one up, then I can start organizing things for real. I've got a lot of these tubs here, you can see, which I've put up the back. And I'm not going to put them on the shelves, I don't think. I think I may actually stack them on top of the bar fridge. Is that a bad idea? I don't know. But I may stack them on there because I have plenty of things that I want to put on these shelves. And I've decided, I think, for now, that this shelf here is going to be the not listed shelf, the unlisted stuff, the death pile, so to speak, which means moving a couple of these things because those things are listed. And then this one can be where we start putting the listed stuff. And then the objective is to not have any stuff in the other shed, and also to have this pile here not there, and also to tidy up my desk and to be able to always get through over here and maybe even organize that stuff a bit more over time too. All these books back there, the majority of them are not listed. Some are, I know which are, but not all of them. A lot of them are not listed. And I want to get things listed or they can bugger off. All right, let's get to work. And to work I got, because look at me. If there has ever been a geezer who's not afraid to do a bit of work, it is me. I'm a tough guy. I'm a hardcore guy who can go to Bunnings and buy shelves and put them together. And why? Because I made a stupid mess that I need to clean up. But it's not just that I'm cleaning up the mess, it's the way I'm doing it. Look at the way I'm improvising there, using the stool to do the difficult first bit where the bits won't stand up where I want them to stand up. And actually, while I'm on the subject of me, look at my tracksuit pants. I mean, they are super sexy. I mean, when I go to the post office in those tracksuit pants, the ladies give me discounts. Alrighty, I have built my second shelf. There it is behind me. Whoop-de-doo. I feel like I deserve a medal. But in fact, my reward now is to start sorting through all this crap and the crap in the next shed. So I'm going to start with that stuff so that I can get it all back in here. And at least then I won't be upsetting others in the family by taking over the fun room with all my junk. And then after that, the next thing is to start getting this sorted out as best I can. I mean, to be honest, I don't know that I can get it all on those two shelves. Like, that seems a bit ambitious. And doing stuff like this, unfortunately, it's necessary, but it isn't making me money. Like, I haven't listed anything today. I don't suppose I will because, I mean, this is going to take me the rest of the day probably to get organized. I could stop and list a few things just to keep tickling eBay's little needy little algorithm, but I'm sort of thinking at this point in time, I'm happy just to maybe just focus on getting this done, and then after that we can get into a rhythm of listing again. Okay, I'm not going to film myself moving everything back in because I think that you've probably seen enough video of me moving boxes of shit around, but I'll catch up with you again on the other side. Ladies and gentlemen, check it out. Here we are. Look, I can stand here. This is where the death pile was. And you can see behind me, hopefully, that there is no death pile there anymore. There is no death pile there anymore because it is over here on the shelves. It's been about a day and a half's worth of work and some procrastination. And here we are, we're done. Those of you who live in an organized fashion will be like, big deal. But for those of you who've been following me on my journey, you will understand that this was a bit of a mental block and a bit of a problem extraordinaire. But we're there now, we're done. To be honest, I was surprised just how much stuff I've got that I probably don't want. Actually, there's quite a bit of stuff that now that I know more about sourcing, I know that I should just sell it off quickly because it's just taking up space. But there is still a lot of gold in here. So here we have all the books. Now, I haven't been able to get to these books for a while, except to reach over and put a couple of things I'd listed over there and some toys at the top and stuff. But most of those books are not listed, so we'll list them. Some of these books here, they're not listed. Some of the stuff is listed, that stuff is listed. Some of the stuff up the top is listed, but most of this crap is not listed. Some of it is gold. For example, here is a giant tub of my 1980s Buster comic collection in pretty good condition, and there's hundreds of them. And I've been wanting to get around to selling them because, you know, they're just sitting there in a box. I'd rather sell them. I turned out to have way more of these Mills and Boons novels than I thought I did. So not only do they take up the bottom, this row here, they also take up about half or a third of this row here. And so they're one that I'm going to get onto straight away. And then there's a few weird boxes where I have just heaps of old cassettes and things like that, which I'm probably just going to sell in job lots to try and get rid of to make space for more quality stock. But anyway, there is some gold in there. So the next thing is to get listing because eBay has decided that I'm dead now. I'm dead to eBay because I didn't list for 2 days and the sales just suddenly dried up. But I feel like I can get on with it now. Got to post these shoes that we sold yesterday because I still haven't done that. I'll do that today. But for now, I think it's time to get out of here. I've certainly spent enough time in here in the last 2 days, and I'm feeling very happy with the result. Flip you later. Flip you later.